All right, welcome everybody to another exciting episode at RightStyle Living, the Building Stronger Fitness Business series. And today we're talking to Jim Thomas of Fitness Management and Consulting. How you doing today, Jim?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You know, it's pretty interesting. You've been in this business of teaching people how to grow their fitness businesses for, more than 25 years, and you're doing this coast to coast. And one of the things that I really think is important about what you do is that so many people in the fitness industry, they have, great programs, great fitness regimens, great workout routines, great understanding of the fitness part of the business, but not everybody understands the business end of the business as well as they should. And I think that what you're doing to help people grow their businesses is fantastic. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do and how you do it for people.
Okay. Really for most clients, if you could take maybe the most popular things that we do is, we'll help them get started. We'll do that new gym startup or that new client startup and all that entails. We'll do sales training, marketing training, management training for companies that are looking to go to that next level. And then we'll do troubleshooting, for folks that have got in there and maybe underestimated what it was going to take to get this done. We'll go in there and help them get this fixed to help shorten that learning curve and improve bottom line profitability. And if I could highlight any three things, those would probably be the three things that keep us the busiest.
It's funny because people love to strike out on their own. That's sort of the American way, right? Strike out on your own, create your business, build something for yourself. And I admire people who do that. But it's like you say, it's not as easy as a lot of people think it is. And like you like to say, when the going gets tough, the smart get help, right?
That's our favorite saying, yes.
So what would you say is the number one thing that's holding back most fitness businesses from achieving greater success?
I would say across the board, at all levels, the number one issue is that issue of obscurity. And what I mean by that is, in so many cases, nobody knows who you are, and those that do, they aren't thinking about you. And that number one job of any owner is to, as we like to say with a great big smile on our face, is to make sure that door's swinging, the phone's ringing, and that email's dinging. And everywhere that customer turns, they need to see you. And so we have to be able to attract attention to ourselves. And, the good news is, in the year, 2015, where we are now, there's no shortage of ways to do this, but you have to know how to properly implement it, and you need to, take that level of action that's going to create that. If you do that, that's number one. And in some cases, that can even outrun some problems. But if you don't have that one, it's not going to matter, how good of a facility you have or what great a service you provide.
Or how slick your logo is.
You bet. You
right.
bet.
So can you give us a couple of tips? What are some things that people can do, large and small businesses, to maybe streamline their sales process or drum up more prospects or, build a better brand so that they can get more eyeballs, like you say, the door swinging, the phone ringing, and the email dinging?
Right, you bet. I'll give you one that always comes to mind that I find so often is not done is everybody, every owner, every trainer, anyone who's in business for themselves, you should have a YouTube channel. YouTube itself, of course, is owned by Google, but it's the second largest search engine on the planet. This is where people go when they're looking for advice, how to do things. And, trainers, they should have one and make sure it's done properly, but post something every day. And in some cases, post, 2 or 3 times a day. It's a great search engine. One of the beautiful things about YouTube is, when you get your subscribers, as that develops, every time that you post on YouTube, every one of your subscribers is going to get an email saying that you made a post. And this is powerful. If I could pick one thing that I think everybody should do, that would be it. It costs nothing to do other than your time to do it, it'll be one of the best investments of time you could possibly make.
Let me add a couple other tips there on the YouTube front. Yes, you're right. Second biggest search engine on the planet. And here's the important thing. If you go to Google and search for some search terms, you'll find 500 million results. You go to YouTube for the same search term, there's 100,000 results. Now, which pond do you want to compete in, Google or YouTube?
You bet, absolutely.
And not only that, I'll give you another tip. When you put your videos up on YouTube, use the keywords that you want to get found under in the title of the video and in the description, always a link to your website. But here's another thing. Always keep your videos under 2, 3, 4 minutes long. Because part of the ranking algorithm at YouTube as to whose videos show up under getting searched for is how much, what percentage of people complete your video. Well, if your video is 37 minutes long, your completion rate is going to be very small. If it's 4 minutes long, your completion rate is going to be much, much higher, and that'll get you found at YouTube even better.
You got it. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And it's a simple thing. Here's one thing I would add to this. So many people, they get so maybe freaked out by it that they have to be perfect, and they wait to be perfect at this. And the advice I would give them, this is about getting your name out there. This is about becoming known. If your hair's messed up, you need to lose a couple pounds, man, don't worry about it. Get your name out there, get going at this, and start right now.
Yeah, perfection never comes, right? You're never gonna,
does.
right?
Perfection is just more of a little sophisticated procrastination.
Right. All right. So YouTube, I think, is a great idea, great tip. Social media engagement, I'm sure, is a big part of what you guys tell people to share because, let's face it, social media is huge. And in this particular marketplace, I happen to know that women place a great emphasis on social sharing or testimonials or word of mouth or my friend joined that gym and it worked out great. That really talks, and that's what the whole social platform is about. Yeah,
that's it. And in sharing that information, putting that information out there, one of the things that we talk about quite a bit, whether it be with new clients that come in your gym or whether it be existing clients, is you want to have a nurturing program in place. A program whereby you're helping them maintain interest and maintain desire. Because even though you may have them as a new client, it doesn't mean they're going to maintain that same level of interest. And even though you're training them or even though you're seeing them, we have to continually be giving them information. And information like good references that you receive, testimonials or even articles and email coaching. All of these things, go hand in hand toward getting that message out. And when you're doing it, you're attracting more attention to yourself, which is what your business needs to do.
Right. And there's nothing better for, client retention than engagement, right?
That's
So
it.
you want to be engaged with them. Some people are really leaning on text messaging now. There's a lot of marketing going on in text messaging. Now, I don't know how I feel about that yet because I get enough junk mail in my email inbox. I don't need junk spam in my phone, right? But if it's something that I really want,
here's what we tell folks is we want to be a servant. We want to be a resource center. We want to provide value. And we're going to look for all kinds of ways to do this. And because at the end of the day, yes, we want good customer service. Yes, we want hospitality. But people will leave you even when there's good customer service, even when there is hospitality. What we're trying to establish here ultimately is we want a loyalty from these folks. And we want to create an experience for them that they're not likely to get anywhere else. It really goes above and beyond just, the exercise portion of it.
right? Well, and that's the thing, right? It needs to be, like you say, the full resource, educational materials. I mean, if people don't feel like they're, here's the thing. You can go on a diet and you can lose weight. But when you go off the diet, what happens? Right?
Back
I mean,
where you started.
if you really want to be impactful on people, you have to make a difference in their life. And that's not, I mean, yes, that's taking place on the gym floor. It's taking place in the kitchen. But it's really taking place between their ears. It's what you can teach them. It's the lifestyle changes that they will adopt over the long term that are really going to make the difference.
How you see yourself is how you are. And it's our mission here to help them see themselves not only as clients, as that end user, but also as that owner and that trainer, to see ourselves as something a bit different than maybe we do right now.
All right. So one of the big struggles I think that people have in any kind of membership business is retention. And there has to be, some award-winning tactics for driving, client retention. If you can toss us one or give us a tidbit on your thoughts on that.
Well, like I mentioned, the thing that we focus on when it comes to retention, and, we don't even use the word retention. We might use retention in the meeting, but, in terms of a day-to-day usage, we like to position people and want them to view themselves almost like a club concierge. We're here to serve these folks. And we want to, some things that I hope people do, but we're going to celebrate birthdays. We're going to celebrate anniversary dates of how long they've been a client or how long they've been a member. We're going to celebrate success stories. And let me tell you what I mean by celebrating success stories. Mary comes in and Mary loses 20 pounds. She does some great things. We might put a press release out about it, and we're going to submit that thing, to the media. We might do a YouTube interview about that, and we're going to push that out to our LinkedIn network, to our Google Plus network, to our Twitter network. We're going to celebrate these success stories, and we're going to fully engage our members. We're going to provide on a monthly basis, or what we suggest, on a monthly basis, some kind of email coaching, some kind of recognition, some kind of involvement, because we want them to be part of the family here. It's not just, hey, you have a trainer. It's not just you're a member at a gym. This is an experience that goes beyond that, and that's what's going to keep people loyal to you. That's what's going to keep them coming back.
It's so interesting that you say that because people don't really buy from companies. They don't really buy from and become, really raving fans of companies so much, maybe with the possible exception of Apple. But if they really want to know that their service provider cares about them and your tips on recognizing the birthdays, anniversaries, successes, milestones, all that stuff, that goes a long way into showing your customers that you really care about them, right? And that you're not just a client, you're not just another, account. You want to be, like you say, a member of the family. I mean, they want to know that you care about them and their goals. And that's, I think, that's a hard thing to get across to somebody. It's a real intangible.
It is, and I forget who said it, but they defined it like this. They said, the consumer is a number, but the customer is a person,
Exactly.
and you have to treat them as such.
Yeah. And it's really in today's world of, huge businesses. I mean, look at the huge businesses that are out there. Walmart, you're never going to be, a personal customer with Walmart, right? It's just not going to happen. And the way that everything is consolidating and businesses just get bigger and more impersonal, I think just creates more opportunity for people who do know how to create a true customer experience.
Oh, I think, these trainers or, gym owners or whomever, they're looking for ways, hey, how do I compete with the big guys? When these big guys come to town, and they do and they will, this is one of the ways you do it.
All right, that brings up a great question that I have for you, and I'm sure this isn't one that you haven't heard before. So, big box gym comes to town. They're offering the $10 all-you-can-eat membership, and a guy who's offering, personal training services that are $1,500 has to compete with this. How? And I hate to see this when personal trainers will try to compete on price with big box operators. I just don't think that's the way to go. I think the way to go, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is to set yourself apart as something much better than that and worth every penny.
Absolutely. The biggest mistake, club owners make, trainers make, is they try to compete on price. You're better off raising your price and then give even more value when you do it. And one of the mistakes that people make, kind of get into the sales process a little bit, is we sell too much on features and we sell too much on price. Because when you're selling anything, it doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing, you want to solve customers' problems and you want to provide solutions. You do those things, price gets real small all of a sudden. And the problem that so many folks have, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to do that. And it's a big issue that a lot of folks need to overcome.
Well, I think one of the things is that you're right. I mean, it's setting your price higher raises a level of expectations, right? If I'm walking into a restaurant, dinner's $7, or if I'm walking into a restaurant and dinner's $47, my level of expectations are quite different. And but setting yourself apart like that, I think, is a big thing, and it's the personal customer service that's going to get you there. And that doesn't mean that, it's like an hour of your time, right? It's just that how you're spending your time with that client is important and meaningful.
You bet. And I would go back to what you commented on when we first started here on our conversation was that biggest issue that gyms have, and that issue of obscurity. Because what the trainers need to do, what Jim needs to do, you need to have a marketing plan out there that people need to know who you are. And in the day and age we live in, there's not been a greater time to be able to do that. Let me give you an example. Trainers they can write a press release. There's any number of free press release sites online that you can utilize. Write that press release, and then make sure on, say, Twitter is what we use for this, is make sure on Twitter you're following all of your local media outlets. You're following your radio stations, your TV stations, your newspapers, your magazines. Make sure you're sharing content, make sure you're engaging. And then when you put out a press release, tag them. Tag that radio station, tag that TV station, tag that newspaper, and right here in the palm of their hand, they're going to get a notification that you just sent a press release, and they're going to read it. And you're going to get great results by doing that. And that's one simple way that costs you nothing that will allow you to compete with the big guys. And because those big guys, they can't move that fast. They take time making decisions. You can move quickly on this, and that's one great way to do it.
Not only will the subject of your press release be out there in the media and potentially actually get some coverage, but you will establish yourself as an expert on the topic in the community. And when another topic comes up that they are going to cover, they may want to talk to somebody, get an expert opinion. You come to mind, boom, you're getting an interview on the local news, and it really had nothing to do with you at all. You were the expert that popped into their mind.
You got it. The media, this is one of the great things, for trainers that have a website, have a media tab, on your website. Let people know, let the media know when they go there that you're available for interviews, you're available for speaking engagements, you're available for articles, you're available to provide content, because they're all looking for that. And if you are available and you do it like you say you will, they'll keep coming back.
Great tips. We could probably sit here and talk about this stuff all day, because it's really, from site selection to the build out to staffing to training to marketing to scheduling of clients and streamlining services and add-on sales and additional revenue streams. I mean, we could literally talk about this all day. Tell folks where they can get a hold of you, and if they're interested in learning more or getting with you, specifically on some issues.
Sure, absolutely. Let me give you maybe three different things you can look at. You can call me direct. You can reach me at 800-929-2898. You can go to our website at fmconsulting.net. Or for those of you that are looking for, immediate information, you can go to jthomasondemand.com, and, that's a full subscription service that you can hear me talk about, in various training classes and webinars that we've done, and sales tips and manuals. And if they're looking for one-stop shopping, they can get it right there.
That's great. Let's see. Is there anything else that you want to cover while we're here today? We're in the nutrition end of the business, and I know that you think that nutrition is, an important part of any fitness operation, because, like other people say, abs are made in the kitchen, right? I mean, you can do crunches all day, but if you stop at Dunkin' Donuts on the way home, then
you bet.
You're not really making a lot of progress.
And, the thing about nutrition is, and kind of going back to the personal training, the selling, and all of this, too many folks that, say when they sign up a new client, for personal training, too often they're done, okay? And one of the key things in selling is what's known as the second sale. And that person has signed up, they're a new client of yours, you're all set to go. And, one of the things that we recommend is, now let's do the second sale. And it's, hey, Mary, congratulations. Hey, we're going to help you get these results. to lose that weight, get ready for that wedding, near the end of summer. Mary, let me ask you this question. Mary, how would you like to get your results twice as fast? Well, how do I do that? And show them your nutritional program. Show them by changing those eating habits, how they can really get not only accelerated results, but how they can continue to keep those results for years and years to come.
I couldn't agree more, because it really is that important of a component of the fitness industry, and one that I think everybody should utilize as often as they can. Jim, I want to thank you for coming on, talking to us today. I like to keep these interviews short so people can, watch the whole thing in one sitting. Folks, if you want to get with Jim, pop over fmconsulting.net, or what was the other domain?
jthomasondemand.com.
There you go, jthomasondemand.com. Thanks for coming by, folks. And if you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email. We're happy to help. Thanks for coming.
Thank you much.